Welcome back to the show. And as you've heard, you are tuned into the Mid Morning Live show with myself, Nafisa Dango, where we're going to definitely create that positivity that you're looking for. And talking about doing positive things, it's all about giving back also in many directions, creating that upliftment for people and looking at people and saying, what it is that I can do today to help somebody and change their lives in whichever small little way that I can. And there's one Bonteville woman who is running a campaign to collect sanitary pads for women and girls caught in this particular predicament. Carmen Simons says she started this homeless sanitary drive after her son came home one day and told her there were girls at his school who were staying home because they were menstruating and could not afford sanitaries. So, a very warm welcome to you, Carmen. Thank you so much for joining us on the show this morning. It's such a pleasure having you on.
Thank you very much, Nafisa, and good morning to you and your listeners. And thank you for having me.
I think the pleasure is ours. It's always nice to see people like yourselves actually enticing us to want to go out there and make those differences. So tell us, give us a bit of a pin out of a breakdown on how this actually started up. How did you define the need? Because a lot of people are doing the sanitary drives in many areas as such, but I think what stood out for me from your story was the homeless people where in many instances they are the ones that are actually forgotten.
Oh, yes, totally. I wasn't even aware of it until I read an online magazine, Women's 24, I think, online article about what does the homeless lady do when she has a period. I was so shocked. I was in tears. They use rags, they use
Oh
whatever
no.
paper they can get, and I didn't know that the plight was so significant out there, and that made me go out and ask my family and friends. I told everybody, you go and ask your family and friends, and let's see how many packet of pads can we get together. And that is where it all started for me with having just family and friends, and later on my Facebook page, just
Mm,
strangers starting to donate packets of pads, and I could then have makeup packs sometimes because I had hypermarket artery. Also, give me some donations, and I could put in a underarm, a spray, a lotion, or anything that makes us feel good when we're going through our menstrual cycle for the month.
mm,
And then once COVID hit, as you know, a lot of us couldn't afford even sometimes to buy for ourselves. But those
mm,
that still gave, I, I also, like you said earlier on, when my son came home from school telling me that this girl's actually staying at home because of this, mommy, can you please give us a box for school?
mm,
And that was also, oh my word, the need out there. And we, as women, we walk into a shop and we don't really care how many packs of pads we buy for ourselves.
yes.
And then I started learning that I'm going to take a pack for myself and take a pack for two or three people. So when I pass people in the street and I see it's a need, I will hand out. So it doesn't matter who we are and where we come from. We just need to realize that there are females out there that is going through, besides their normal struggles, that time of the month that they can't even afford to have these sanitary pads. My dad told me a weeks ago, he said
Mhm,
to me, my child,
mm.
I did not know that a pack of pads is that expensive.
I could imagine. And I mean, at the end of the day, as we know, the homeless is struggling as it is just to find that meal for the day. So to
Exactly.
get their hands on a sanitary pack is literally a luxury. And that's, I
Yeah.
think, something we need to bring to the fore, where people need to understand that we need to start defining the priorities with homeless and
Yes.
start creating that awareness of what sort of plights our homeless people in our areas and communities are struggling with. And I think I'm so glad to be having this conversation with you this morning because when you think of a homeless person, um, Carmen, let's be honest. The first thing we would think of is going out there and giving them a meal
Yeah.
and not realizing,
True.
or maybe giving them a jersey or a blanket, but not realizing that there's another priority that's sticking there that we're not even noticing. And let's be honest, it's taking their dignity away from them.
Oh, for sure. I used to hand out with ladles of love, And I just liked the principle that they had and the organization that they had, because I could see to the women first. And sometimes it was so heartbreaking for a guy to come up to me and say, "Ma'am, my wife is laying in our corner. She can't be here to come and fetch our food. She needs to
Mm,
protect our little space where we're going to sleep tonight. But can I please have a packet of pads for her?" Now,
mm,
I mean, how heart sore is that? That she couldn't even come along to come and fetch her own packet of pads. And the other thing I used to ask the ladies, now, what do you do if your stomach cramps? What do you do if you need to wash? It, oh, I'm going to get emotional.
that's fine.
Um, they don't even have a place where they can go have a proper bath in that time. And
Sure,
it's so important for us to be hygienically clean when we go through that time of the month. And they
for
don't
sure.
even have that facility.
Mm.
So, yeah, so it is sad
You
out
know,
there.
I so understand your emotion and your pain because I also give back to a lot of NPOs, and I think I'm also going to start cheering soon because I understand the plight right now. It's very sad a one because you look at a person and you know sometimes I think we don't have enough empathy towards these people where we need to understand, as I was saying, their plights and start reaching out to them because we're organizations that can, we're people and human beings that can reach out to those. So instead of asking ourselves, I'm not saying we shouldn't be giving them those meals, but I'm saying we should start prioritizing and defining what they need. And like you were saying, I mean, it's so sad, but how does a woman deal with it? Because, you know, we being women ourselves would understand
Yeah,
what the situation is like at that particular time of the month. And how do they actually not being able to move around and being, you know, stuck in that, should we say, unhygienic situation
yeah,
is rather heart wrenching. It's very, very heart wrenching. So I think what we as South Africans need to do, and we also, I think, and I'm sure you're going to agree with me, I bring this up time and again, is I think bring this attention and start creating awareness, not just only from community to community and person to person and organization to organization, but also to government. Why give out?
yes,
And I'm not saying I have a problem with that. Don't get me wrong. Why give out condoms for free when yet the girl child and women out there are going through this
yeah,
type of situation? I mean, as we know with the girl child, what happens is they're missing out a week at a time from school. It's taking
school,
the education away from them for an entire week, which is not something we
yeah,
should take lightly because we know the education nowadays, it's very demanding, it's very advanced, and missing out on that week and being able to try and fill that gap is not one of the
yeah,
easiest things that they're going to be facing anyway.
yeah,
So,
and
so why not collectively come together and create this one unison where we tell ourselves, you know, what is it that we can do to make differences to these people and especially the homeless?
yeah, it was, and then now, just like 2 weeks before the exam started, I took a few donations. I called three schools in Bonteheuwel to ask what is the amount of matriculants that you have at your school. And I got those totals, and I went to go and deliver those sanitary packs to the girls. I thought to myself, let me try and just do it for three schools so that the girls could have one less worry besides the exams that they need to get through. Now, I'm only one person and I could only, cover three schools. I wish I could do more, but
Mm,
I'm not able to do that. And like I always say, if you go to the shop and you buy yourself a pack of pads, just buy an extra two. ShopRite Clicks has got initiatives of 5 rand, 5 rand packets of pads. I've got a lady that is in the Northern Cape that whenever she goes to the shop, she buys me 20 packets of 5 rand packs of pads at Clicks or at ShopRite. And when she comes
mm.
to Cape Town, she bring it. And I had that donation of
Wow.
Belinda and I could go and hand out to three schools. Now she
Mm,
comes from the Northern Cape to visit family. How
mm,
about if we as women all over South Africa just buy 10 packets of that 5 rand packs of pads and go give it to your nearest rural high school and even some primary schools. Our girls are some are
mm.
very young when they do get their first menstrual period. Why can't we just go and deliver? I can't
Mm,
cover the whole of South Africa. I wish I could. And with COVID, also with people losing their
mm,
jobs and companies trying to keep things together, I don't get donations anymore. But
mm.
if
So,
each woman,
so
mm,
Carmen, let me come in there. Maybe I've come up with an idea, and this is the idea of the show is always to try and pen out solutions to my guests, and
yeah,
give them something to work by.
yeah,
Maybe an idea would be is to go into your area. You're from Cape Town, right? Is to go into your
yeah,
area and speak maybe to the supermarkets to get that 5 rand going. Because I mean, like you said, with Discount and Clicks, when I go in there to buy my items, the tellers ask me the question, would you like to support this drive? And I mean, you're never going to say no. And I go, yes, yes, please just take this 5 rand or whatever it is towards this, because some people don't know how. Everybody's not going to get involved in a cause because they don't know how to, and some people just don't
yeah,
have that personalities, but they would like to help out. So I
yeah,
think an idea would be is to go to the bigger supermarkets in the areas and say, create, should we say, a relationship with me where
yeah,
we buy, you buy the, somebody comes in, they then say, I'm going to support this drive, because Carmen's running this drive, and I'm giving you the 5 rand. And then they start, and at the end of every single week, because we know we can't do it on a monthly basis because everyone's menstruation is at a different time, is then
different time.
you creating, should we say, a long-term version of being able to reach out, and say, look, especially when you're bringing the plight to the homeless people, I think people have more empathy towards that, and then it softens their hearts in some way, and say, look,
Yeah,
let's try and do the 5 rand drive together. And what you can do is go on, on a weekly basis. They can advertise it. Maybe you could do up a little board in each, supermarket or company or whatever, and get them to go and help you in that way. Besides, of course, looking for donors. So I think that would
yeah,
kind of reach out in a bigger way, but it would help you also to be able to reach out to those people. I mean, you almost had me in tears here. It's really just very heart wrenching to look. I say I look at a homeless person, and I'm not lying to you. There's so many times when I'm driving, and I can't even look at them because my heart is like yours. I sit there on the corner, and I actually want to tear, but I need to, of course, show them that they have dignity as well. So if I'm going to start
yeah,
crying, I'm going to take that dignity
yeah,
away from them.
sure.
So I think it's important. What do you think is important for people to know about these homeless people? I mean, besides the pads, there are lots of other things that you can donate to them just to give them that dignity where even if, people will say, oh my God, they smell bad, this, that. But we also need to have that understanding to say this is the type of situation they're in. They don't have access to anything.
Anything, yeah, yeah. Like I said, as women, we when we that time of the month, we need um a soap,
Mm,
we need our pads, we need, you know, lotion, we need a spray, we need an underarm because we just need to feel good for that time. So, you know, if every woman in South Africa can just carry a few of those things in their car and just bless someone with it, that where they see the need, I think we will make a huge difference to another female, instead of us always breaking each other down
mm.
the gossiping and things like that. Rather do something to counter that and
I so
be a
agree.
positive, yeah, be a
Mm,
positive inspiration to someone else, and raising our girls today, our daughters today, to do the same thing. And
for sure.
by just showing the smallest of kindness to someone else, we're instilling something in our smaller girls and boys as well. I
Mm.
mean, my teenage boy could come home and said, "Mom, there's girls that stay." So I'm very open with my children. So he could
Sure.
be free to come and say to me, "Mom, are you gonna give me some of your boxes that we can take to school?" So he wasn't shy to ask me, "Mommy, we need pads at school for the girls."
Right. Okay.
And we should
Carmen,
bring that
um,
awareness to everyone.
I so agree with you. We're going to go
Yeah.
for a quick break. Stick with us. We'll be back with you in a minute.
Thank you.
Good interview. Yeah.
visiting our website on www.pennyappeal.org.za or call 031 1100 573 to find out how you can donate. Penny Appeal. Small change, big difference.
Little bare feet on the icy wet ground, a shiver at his lips, mud on his clothes. When he is cold, the hunger is worse, the nights are longer, and the pain is more severe. What if this was your child? The Al Imdad Foundation's Global Winter Appeal allows you to make a difference for refugees, IDPs, and struggling communities in 21 countries globally. Sponsor a winter pack today for just 600 Rand. Donate online at alimdad.com or call 0861 786 243.
I need
Shimmer, sparkle, captivate. Nothing less than a masterpiece. Droplets of gold inspires precious design. Platinum bursts with intricate freshness, and every pure diamond becomes more than just a girl's best friend. Voda Gold Gem Jewelers, where timeless dreams become a reality. Come to us. We tailor-make designer gold, platinum, and diamond jewelry. Trade in or remodel your old gold. Clad yourself with classy name-branded watches. We offer insurance valuation and free zakat calculation. Visit us at 534 Ridge Road, Overport, or call 031 208 9142. Voda Gold Gem Jewelers, manufacturers of fine gold and diamond jewelry.
Your act of love gives hope. Islamic Relief supports orphans and vulnerable children in 28 countries with food, education, and medical care. There are more than 150 million orphans in the world. You can give hope to one. Sponsor an orphan today. Go to www.islamic-relief.org.za.
Breaking stereotypes, moving boundaries, joining hands. Salam Media. Humanity sets the agenda.
Session with Carmen Simons, definitely making such a difference to such an important topic. And I'm so glad that we're having this discussion this morning because, trust me, it sheds light on the plights of homeless people and, of course, people going through this menstrual cycles and have absolutely no access to the necessary. Carmen, welcome back to the show. It's definitely an emotional one. I can see you've got me going. I think I'm also going to pin out in tears in the next few minutes because I do understand the plight and should we say the difficulties that people are experiencing. And I think so many a times we don't understand it unless we speak to people like yourselves who can bring it to light, who can make us understand that there's a person out there that really needs reaching out to.
Yeah, for sure. And it's like you said earlier on, Mum, I'm always asking the question, why would you have condoms that people will break open, use it as a toy, and not even use it for the proper things? How many young girls aren't pregnant, but yet there is not one sanitary pad free for a homeless woman or a less fortunate schoolgirl? So yes, like you said,
Yeah.
the
So
government
that's
should be.
where I was coming to next is have you started creating awareness around this? Because I think that's what's important is, education and more education and bringing this plight to government to take it on that level to say, listen, I think maybe joining other sanitary drive people that are doing sanitary drives and make them understand how important and how different your one is because your one has reached out. Many reach out to the girl child, which we're saying there's nothing wrong with that. But you've defined a need that I think a lot of us have overlooked in many directions. I'm going to be honest. So
Yeah.
I think it's also creating that education and maybe, creating a campaign where you all reach out together to government to say, listen, we're not going to take this sitting down now. You have a budget, but why budget it towards that? When there's a girl child out there that's not being educated. And I mean, Nelson Mandela stood as well for education and the importance. He said, if you educate a woman, you educate a nation.
That's the whole thing. My dad is always telling me, "Do you know the government has this? Do you know the government has that?" So it's something that I guess that I'm going to have to look into seriously, on how to bring a few people, women and even men together, so that we can fight the plight of a homeless woman, so they could just have the necessary needs. Um, like we're wasting so many money and so much money on other things that is not important, in our country. What about putting up, um, little bathrooms and things for the homeless people? So it is something that should be looked at in a serious light. And like I said earlier on, I'm just one person. So if anybody
Mm.
is out there that would like to take the fight up with me, and we could brainstorm on how we can get this to the attention of the government, please, you're welcome to give me a shout, inbox me on Messenger on Homeless Sanitary Drive. We can definitely, stand together and create something, and create an awareness around, the
Mm.
homeless, need out there.
Sure. Are there people in other areas and other provinces doing what you do, or is there a way that we can maybe change the version of what they're doing? For example, get in touch with people that are already doing sanitary drives, and for you to be able to create that awareness to say that, you know what, this is what's happening to the homeless. Can you not tap into your area and go ahead and try and help out? So I think it's also about creating that network as well. But
Yes.
I must say, I want to thank you this morning. I just want you to leave us with a very impactful message, because I think you've really touched our hearts here at Salam Media this morning. And we're hoping that we, through what we do every other day, is try and help you out in some way as well by creating this awareness and trying to take it further. So I'm hoping at some point later, during the course of the year, we can catch up and see how much further we've gotten with this. But you definitely have our support with regard to this. And then, what about your current projects? So what are you doing at the moment?
Um, oh, I had a guardian angel. I still don't know who this person was in, December, when I was still contracting. I saw a truck stopping, and
Mm,
I thought to myself, we don't get truck deliveries. And the guy came close and he said, "I'm looking for Carmen Simons." And I said, "I'm her." And he
mm.
says to me, "Oh, we've got from Kimberly Clark, we've got 330 boxes of pads for you."
Wow.
Wherever you are out there, I say thank you so much. Nafisa, I had nowhere to store 330 something boxes. And I posted on Facebook on my homeless sanitary page, and I said, if there's any NGO, NPO that has a need, please, contact me. And again, I'm going to say I was in tears to see the numbers out there. I couldn't, in 3 days, I couldn't cover all the NPOs that reached out to me to give them donations. And it was all in time for, over the festive season. A lot of NGOs,
Mm.
they do, little parties and things for underprivileged kids, and the homeless people. And I had quite a few of those NPOs, NGOs coming to come and get, donations, to hand out, and so many was grateful. I could, reach out as far as Hermanus, um,
Mm.
to people out there. So that was an amazing, amazing, amazing gesture. I still don't know who it is, and I thank you from the bottom of my heart. Um,
Okay, so
but
quickly,
this
your
year,
contact details, Carmen. How can people get
okay,
involved with us?
okay, you can call me and WhatsApp me on 071 343 6610, or you can go onto my homeless sanitary page on Facebook or on Instagram and just give me a DM.
Thank you so much. It's been such an emotional interview for me. And you've really got us thinking in many directions of how we can change this particular aspect of people's lives. So thank you so much for enticing us today to be able to think about this particular space. And there we go. The numbers up on screen. I'm asking our viewers to tap into this, because it's an absolutely phenomenal project. And we're so
Thank
proud of
you.
you, Carmen. We're really so proud of
Thank
you. And
you.
I'm hoping that you've created some form of a milestone that you've started in your own form of legacy. And you have Salam Media's support with regard to this. And I'm sure our viewers that are listening are going to tap into you real soon. And we'll chat to you soon. And thank you so much for
Thank you.
joining us this morning.
Thank you so much, and good luck for the rest of 2022 to you and your viewers, your listeners. Thank you, darling. Have a good day further.
You too, and all the best going forward. Thank you so much. With all our love, take care and have a good one.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye. That was Carmen Simons. What an interesting, should we say, heart wrenching story. Let's try to get involved and make those differences. I mean, when we wake up in the morning, the first thing we ask ourselves is, I'd like to do something. Why not just start there? So I'm going to leave you with that. We're going to go for a quick break. We'll be back in a sec.